Thank you, Chairman Alexander. Welcome, Secretary Azar. Appreciate you being here today. In fact, the end of last year, I asked you in your confirmation hearing if you'd come back after 6 months and report to us on this issue of drug pricing, and I'm happy to see that you've done so. And I appreciate what you've said about it, and I also appreciate the points that have been raised by many of the members. I think that Senator Bennett was right on target in talking about the confusion in the pricing of pharmaceutical services, in fact, all healthcare services. I still to this day can't understand an insurance statement on my health care to beat the band. I can't understand half the things that are going on. And I think there is an absence of transparency in the whole process that's almost transactional in its absence, so that you go from one to another, try to find something else, then you got to go back and start all over again at the beginning. With that said, I appreciate your coming here. I'm glad the President has spoken out on the issue of drug pricing. It's not going to go away because it's entirely too expensive. And there's some big problems, and one of them I want to talk about right now is a personal experience I recently had. You know what Batten disease is?
I'm afraid I don't, Senator.
It's a very rare disease that it only occurs in children. It is 100% fatal. Usually the individual will live from 6 to 12 years, and basically all the basic bodily functions dissipate. I mean, they generally waste away. It's a horrible disease. My daughter's best friend, who married a number of years ago when my daughter did, their second child ended up having Batten disease. And she has dedicated her life to trying to find a cure, like all of us do when we get some dread disease or incurable disease. But she did so well, she found 2 doctors at Boston Children's Hospital that were working on a gene therapy concept where they would be able to use gene therapy to get the part of the brain that needed attention, and I'm not using the right medical terms, to respond, and had gotten approval from the agency to have a field trial if they could raise the money. The cost, and she volunteered for her child to go through the field test. So her child is going to be the first person ever tested with this technique of gene therapy at Boston Medical, and is under testing now. The cost to do that is $1.7 million, and that's with a lot of charitable support and help to get that done. It raises the question that I think begs all of us: the rising costs of designer drugs, biologics, the new techniques like gene therapy, is making the new products that come out that treat maybe only a select few diseases but are potential cures for something that's future incurable, are totally unaffordable. Is there any work being done anywhere in the depths of your agency to come up with a mechanism we can incentivize the development of new drugs and find a way to ameliorate the impact of the dramatic cost at the beginning, so we can spread it enough to where the cost is somewhat affordable for the average American family? Is anybody in your agency actually thinking about that?
We are, but I actually think this is an issue we need to work with Congress on. This is a broader issue of curative therapies and lifetime therapies that can be for a very small population and quite expensive. And our insurance system, which is really meant for small molecule pills, is not built for that. These types of therapies, and it challenges our system greatly and hurts individuals. So we need to work together to try to find solutions for these lifetime therapies and how those are financed and handled.
Well, I certainly don't have the answer, but I know the problem is desperate, and we need to do whatever we can to start developing it, and we need to encourage it. One other thing I want to say, too, is I was pleased that President Trump mentioned speeding up the approval process for over-the-counter drugs in his Rose Garden statement on pharmaceutical costs. I was pleased with Bob Casey to sponsor the monograph reform bill, which we passed in this committee a couple of months ago, which I think is going to be a contributor to lowering costs. Would you agree with that, and do you support that getting to the President?
Very much support the OTC process and reform and enhancing the number of cheaper OTC drugs for consumers. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.